right. We got Chris Van Vliet in the studio today. Thanks so much for coming, man.
Jack, thank you for having me.
This is a blast for me. This is the 600th episode of this podcast.
Wow.
You know, I've been doing it a long time, and you're someone, like, I don't really, like, try to, like, mimic or style myself after most people. I wouldn't say I necessarily do that with you either, but you're someone that I have been in tune with for years.
Wow.
So I'm glad that we get to sit down and do this.
Dude, congrats on 600 episodes.
Absolutely. I mean,
that's incredible.
You just don't quit, right?
And that's the biggest thing, right? I think the biggest tip to being successful in podcasting is number one, you start.
Yeah.
And then number two, you just don't stop.
Yeah.
And then I guess that could be applied to a whole bunch of things. But so many people have this idea of a podcast they want to start and then just talk about it for years and years and years and then never do anything about it.
Yeah.
So congrats to you on starting and not stopping.
Absolutely. I mean, that's literally what we were just talking about before we came on, is that everybody has a show. You know, like you say, like, oh, I have a podcast. I'm like, oh, so you live in your mom's basement, right? It's not like some people have legitimate shows, some people have podcasts. And I feel like you tend to figure out which ones stick. It's the people that don't quit.
Like pod fade's a real thing. We've heard that term thrown around in the industry a lot, but like that's a real thing that people start a podcast thinking it's going to be fun. Oh, me and my friends are so funny. We'll just hit record. And then you don't realize how much work goes into it, right? Like the booking the guests, the producing it, promoting it, editing it, uploading, all of that. And I think the average podcast fades after 7 episodes.
Really?
Yeah.
That quickly?
And think about it, right? Like they always say, oh, there's 2 million podcasts right now. How many of them are active?
I know.
And I bet it's like half.
I mean, we're both part of the Blue Wire network too. Thanks to Kevin Jones for hooking me up there. How many 200 plus shows, are they all consistent? Can we honestly say that?
I think they have to be. I think they're at 300 plus shows now, aren't they?
They could have 1,000 shows for all we know.
Yeah.
They're constantly growing, constantly looking for new shows. That's my job now as a recruitment coordinator, is bringing on new shows.
That.
Oh my God, it's going to be this is the network to be associated with. They're on the up and up.
I mean, when you just look at the podcast studio, the Blue Wire studios inside the Wynn Las Vegas, you're like, I get to, as a podcaster on the Blue Wire network, get to record in there. That's it. I don't need to hear anything else.
Nope.
It's such a beautiful space.
It's a game changer too.
Oh, I'm so grateful to be part of Blue Wire. I've been with them since 2019. And it's really changed the whole perception of my podcast being with them.
Oh my God. Who was the first guest you had in that studio? Because I can imagine the first time you checked out the studio, you're like, holy shit. Like this is the real deal. And then your first guest walks and they're like, oh.
I remember Kevin Jones sending me like a video that he shot on his iPhone. And he's like, it's pretty much finished. I'm like, that? Oh, this is not what I was expecting at all. So I flew in there and I did like 5 episodes in like 2 days. So Rob Van Dam was the first real big one I did in there.
That's really cool.
Love that guy.
He seems like a really chill dude.
Yeah. I mean, that's what he's known for, right? Mm-hmm. He's the chillest dude.
I think I'm going to use the studio we were talking about, I think next weekend, just because you got to like book it weeks in advance. And I think I'm going to have basically everyone who's already been there before. They're like, oh, Blue Wire, definitely, I'll shoot in there. It's like Bradley and Travis Chappelle and, you know, some of those guys.
I'm going to see Travis right after this.
There you go.
Yeah.
See? Because he's right in the area.
Yeah,
so
he's one of my good friends.
He's an awesome interviewer.
He's crushing it. I mean, you want to talk about someone who started and didn't stop. He's at like episode 800 and something.
Exactly.
And I always say, like, I think there's a lot of people that get really trepidatious about getting into podcasting because they see people like the giants in the industry, like Joe Rogan, who's approaching 2,000 episodes. And they go, oh man, how could I get to 2,000 if, I'm just starting out now? It's like, well, you just got to start.
It's like anything else in life, really. I mean, if you're looking at it from a monetization standpoint right off the bat, yeah, you're going to fizzle out because the passion isn't there. Like I started mine when I was 17 years old, I did this out of my parents' basement,
Dude, that's
because
great.
Like I always tell people, I had my iPad that I used like the voice memo app to record.
Yes.
And then this was before video, so I would use my phone to call the guest, and that's how I would record because I had no equipment.
Wow.
Like just starting out, that's how I did it for about a year.
Wow. Who really inspired you when you were starting out?
I don't know. I like you because I listened to the interview you did with Travis talking about like at 4 years old, you were like basically calling Blue Jays games from your house, right? That's what I did. When I was 5 years old, I grew up in Jersey. So I grew up a huge Yankee fan. And that's what I did. So being a play-by-play voice for a team was like my first true passion when I was a young kid. And then it kind of snowballed to where 2017, 2018, I would say it's right before the whole podcast, wave came, maybe like a year before, where I was like, oh, that would be a great resume builder.
Yeah.
And I just kept at it. I remember the first episode being like, I'm going to do this hopefully till the day I die. Like, there's no sense in quitting, because like this was my goal, to be like a talk show host.
Yeah.
And this is the golden opportunity to do it.
And all you got to do is just keep putting in the time. Like, the biggest key in podcasting or just content creation in general is just be consistent. Like, constantly show up, and then your audience will also show up.
I mean, you probably look back at the first 50 interviews you ever did and look back like, these suck. Like, these are brutal. Like, I look back at the first 100 episodes I did. I'm like, man, I didn't know how to edit. I didn't know how to talk. I was just monotone, just like, hey guys, welcome back to the show.
Yeah.
But like in my head, I'm like all hyped up.
Yeah, I think that there's like, it's an interesting thing, right? Because you're your own worst critic. But if you're not looking back on your older stuff, even from like 6 months ago, and kind of cringing a little bit, you're not heading in the right direction.
No.
Like, if your best piece of content is from 5 years ago or 3 years ago, like, you're not heading in the right direction. Or if you're not looking at an older interview and going, could have phrased that question a little bit better, then you're not growing. And I think that that's the best thing about this, is you can continue to always grow. Obviously, 2020 was like a big boom for podcasting.
I would say that's where I'm here right now talking to you because of 2020. Everybody was in their homes doing nothing, and nobody had an excuse not to talk to me unless you really didn't want to.
Yes.
And that's where I was able to get like some like premier names on my show to really get people thinking like, oh, he's got something with this show. It's
especially early on, like March, April of 2020. If you reached out to somebody and they had any excuse, it was like, you are a liar. Like, I know exactly what you're doing. You're sitting at home like the rest of the world.
But with you already have your platform at that point. You have the reputation. With me, it's like, okay, I'm just a kid. Like, I understand like if they don't want to invest the time, but
I put out a tweet pretty early, like March of 2020, like a week into all the lockdowns.
Yeah.
And I said, I've never done a virtual interview before in my life. Can you guys help me? And I had a bunch of people throwing out different suggestions. I ended up landing on Zoom because that just kind of became the common ground for everybody. But I had no idea how to do this. And because I was flying everywhere and doing every interview I could in person, because I just, like we're doing right now. And I'm so appreciative that we're sitting down and doing this in person, because nothing beats being able to shake someone's hand, give them a hug, look them in the eyes, not have a half-second delay, because when you're looking at someone on a Zoom meeting, you're looking at a 2-dimensional version of a 3-dimensional person. It's not quite the same.
No.
Like, I put out this tweet and I said, if you did an interview with someone over Zoom, did you really meet them? And it was really interesting seeing people's reaction to that. A lot of people said, yeah, of course you did, because you got to talk to them. And then a lot of people said, no, because the first thing you do when you meet that person in real life after that is you say, it's so good to meet you in person.
Yep.
And I'm in that camp.
And you build relationships off of that. I can honestly say doing in-person interviews, like, oh, you stay in touch with almost everybody. Yeah. As opposed to like Zoom interviews, like you said, you don't really meet them. It's kind of like, it's a chore for them almost to be like, I got to do this quick call. I heard a
celebrity refer to this as like the new jury duty. It's like, I guess I got to do it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. People promoting movies in 2020, they're like, I guess we're off. It's like, oh no, there's this thing called Zoom now. You're going to have to do video calls. And it's like, oh.
Yeah. But it's a totally different world now.
Oh my God. I think it's both, like you said, good and bad. You can do it from, like, if you told me like, okay, because I woke up this morning to your email being like, flight got delayed, might have to like change the time or whatever. Like, if we weren't able to do this today, it's like, okay, next time you're in town, as opposed to like, I could have easily been like, here's a Zoom link if you want to do it that way, but it's not the same.
Not the same. So I'm glad that we're here doing this in person.
Absolutely. And again, like, someone I've watched for years upon end. I'm not going to do a Zoom interview with you. I was going to meet you in person, right? And congrats, you're going to be a dad in a few months.
Yeah, it's coming up so quickly.
That's so crazy.
May. Yeah.
Wow. Husband, father, you're an old man now.
It's a heck of a 2022. I mean, and these are like I'm just getting used to wearing this on my finger here. Yeah, it's been great.
Oh, man. And did you guys have do you know if it's a boy or a girl?
It's a girl.
Did you have a gender reveal?
We did.
What did you guys do for that?
Well, we were like, we don't want to like have fireworks and like set California on fire. So we just did like the thing where like the smoke goes up, like the smoke cannon.
Yeah. Oh, that's perfect.
Like pink smoke. Boom.
That's perfect. And that's probably got to be like the most elated feeling in the world when that comes up. Because either way, you're going to be ecstatic, but it's like.
Yeah. So Rachel, my wife, was like, I'm confident this is a girl. And I'm like, what makes you say that? And she's like, I don't know. Like everybody who says they've had a girl before, all their symptoms have been like mine. So she was really feeling nauseous at first. And I'm like, look, I'm happy. It doesn't matter to me. I don't care, boy or girl. And she was right.